Hit yes on that. Punch.
Super dope that we figured out how to share videos.
Right? I know. It's going to be more powerful now. But yeah, man.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, where do we start?
You know, man. Sometimes I just be at a loss for words. Mag, we could pick up there. That's a really dope accomplishment. I saw some other, who was it? Jack the Rippler, I think, on Twitter today was talking about it.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't follow him, but I saw that you reposted it, and I follow you, so I saw that. That was
Yeah,
cool.
he was giving a shout out and got an all-time high, 1867. It's still hovering at 1867 right now too.
Bro, it's crazy. I was doing my video this morning on Xgo, doing a little bit of digging on that project on the Xrpl, and I was looking at the post on the magnetic X profile from when they actually launched the AMM and the ability to provide liquidity. In the screenshot, you can see that there was only 94 active farmers in Mag XRP.
Wow.
And bro, that's when we got into, you know, Mag XRP. Now it's sitting at like 1,000, I don't know, 200 active farmers on the DEX.
Yeah, 1250.
1250. So it was just cool to make history, you know? It's cool.
Dude, man. Hey, how about the APRs though too? How much they've throttled down though too? I mean, like think about it, you know, I think what we're calling in other conversations that we've had as far as like these APRs, 100% APR, 200% APR, they're not going to last forever. They're not going to be here forever. You know, so like the time is now while it's still in its infancy and hardly anyone knows about this. But
No,
could you imagine with everyone deployed into this Mag XRP, what the rate would be?
It's going to definitely throttle down probably to the high teens, I would assume. I think that once more liquidity comes in, and as more liquidity comes in, especially financial institutions and the liquidity that they're going to bring to the market, I don't think that it's going to be 100 plus APRs like it is now. I think that we have maybe like another year, maybe 2 years max of these super redundant freaking APRs. These APRs right now, they're incentives. They're incentives to draw people into the DeFi ecosystem, which I can understand. And it's, don't get me wrong, it's definitely something that needs to happen. But at the end of the day, it's definitely not sustainable in my personal opinion. I think that once regs come in too, I'll get into that a little bit in today's video breakdown. There's not too many ongoing developments that I've seen from other jurisdictions. Maybe I'm just not doing enough digging. Actually, you know what? I'll chuck it up to I'm not doing enough digging. I will dig more. But from what I've seen, the UK is really at the forefront of being the closest to solidifying DeFi regulations, like sound, solid DeFi regulations, at least from what I've seen. So we'll get into that a little bit in today's video. But yeah.
Yeah. I think I know what you're referring to. That article that you had told me about. I think I had seen that as well as UK and later on this year, like their regulations or something like that.
The Forbes
I'll let
article?
you. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I got some highlights. I'll read through it, but I wanted to start it off with this, bro, because this was powerful, and I know that you reposted this one, and even Mr. Man commented a little bit on this one on his profile. But I said I bought the dip with DeFi money.
Facts.
It was cool, man. Like just deploying like $2,000 worth of capital back into the markets, and it didn't even like, it wasn't my money. It was DeFi money. It's like straight up money that you become your own bank in DeFi. And it's really cool just to actually buy assets that we want, like XRP, and then, you know, taking the XRP and going and adding it to your cold storage bag. It's like, dang, this is really a dope way to grow your portfolio while we wait for this blow off top. I just don't see why people are knocking the opportunity, bro. Like, why do you think people are knocking this opportunity? What's one of the main reasons?
I think they don't look at it realistically. I think they look at it in their mind too emotionally. Like, because like you talk about DeFi and they're immediately thinking their entire bag. Like, wait a second. No, maybe we don't even touch the HODL bag, but maybe you know, we take $100 out of our next paycheck and just kind of play with the AMMs. I think there's a lack of like wanting to learn and more of just kind of like, you know, thinking unrealistically and then adopting these heavy words like impermanent loss. Like impermanent loss is a common box out word to keep most out of the DeFi world, you know?
Yeah, I definitely think that it has to do with ego. A lot of people in the XRP community think that they know it all, you know? And so they like, oh, they know so much about the digital asset XRP, yet they don't. I guess I don't know. The XRP community has become so fixated on like Ripple on riddles and outrageously high price predictions that they forget about the stepping stones that are need to that are going to need to be met to reach those higher pinnacles that we all are planning to reach eventually one day, right? But some of us think more logically than others and have a higher IQ, and we actually understand things that are going to need to happen and developments and regulations that are going to need to unfold in order for XRP to ever reach those significant higher prices. And developing a DeFi ecosystem on the XRPL is definitely one of those things that has to happen in order for the growth of the XRPL ecosystem to unfold over the many, many years to come. And it's like, I don't get why people are knocking it when David Schwartz is literally, you know, one of the XRPL engineers, one of the main advocates for people getting involved in DeFi. I just find it so crazy that the XRP community would rather follow people on Twitter that post constant riddles about XRP's price action and whatnot. Okay. Or Ripple's settlement date with the SEC. Like, who gives a F? Who cares? Like, your asset XRP is a much more powerful tool than you probably assume it to be as of right now. You know, if your XRP isn't actively earning you income, the question is why not, right? They just launched their AMM feature. They launched the ability for retail investors to do this. Obviously, of course, ahead of financial institutions. Financial institutions aren't here yet. You've probably heard David Schwartz talk about institutional liquidity into the DeFi market on the XRPL most recently, right? That money's coming. But right now, before that money comes, we, just like Mr. Aquaman was mentioning, have the ability to capitalize on these, you know, decently high APRs while they last, because they're not going to last for forever, you know? So
They're definitely not. They're definitely not. But you know, I look at as I was just listening to you speak right now, I'm just like thinking like, I wonder what else is gonna come to fruition out of DeFi though. Because I feel like what we know about DeFi is eventually going to transform and it might even like blow our minds too again, like what it transformed into. You know what I mean? Because like David Schwartz is a wizard, man. Like, I don't know. I'm curious like what else is to come in this DeFi space, dude. I'm really excited actually.
I think it's gonna be so much, man. Like I'm gonna pull up some documents today on the X space. And their documents talking about the digital frontier of the future, like in the metaverse, how we're going to be able to invest in like bits and pieces of real estate and real world assets and whatnot. And that's all going to be through the power of decentralized finance to some degree. And it's like, that's the way the world's headed. A lot of people can't fathom because again, you know, this is why the government doesn't like just outright drop a whole bunch of technology, because like normal people can't even fathom that this is even possible. I remember being in the military, bro, back in 2012 as an example, and
Mm.
I was testing virtual reality goggles. I remember going to a virtual shooting range in the military to qualify virtually on my rifle, and we would use VR goggles and we would test it out. And like, but I remember at the time going through those classes and hearing those instructors speak, and they were like, yeah, we're not going to release this to the general public right now because we're not in a stage in an environment where the masses could handle this type of technology. And it's the same thing with these new payment rails. Like, people don't people don't have the high IQ to understand how their payment at Starbucks processes. You know, they just care if the payment goes through. You know, it's just the same way with DeFi. It's like this new niche inside of crypto. Crypto, one of within itself, is already a bit confusing to the normal average person. And DeFi brings an extra added layer of risk. Obviously, of course, if you don't know what you're doing, if you don't know how to fluently send a transaction, you know nothing about the centralized exchanges or hot wallets or how to connect certain wallets to different dexes and whatnot, and all the complexities that DeFi right now in its infancy stage, um, you have to go through, right? I think that that's another
Facts.
thing that's just keeping people on the sidelines. But at the end of the day, it's like if you can wiggle past those problems, if you can be a problem solver, and you are a true entrepreneur, and you actually listen to David Schwartz and not those stupid riddles that he posts and his actual words, and you're actually, like you're intellectually inclined enough to keep pace with what he's saying on these interviews and these panel discussions that are public to everybody, that everybody claims to be watching, yet it's clear as day that nobody's actually letting the information soak up. Because if you go look at, and I'll just use this as an example, go look at Bank XRP's YouTube. Shout out to Bank XRP. He's been slaughtering the panel discussions, right? Bank XRP is a lit person, whoever's behind that camera. But just go look at the amount of views that the XRP Las Vegas video has on Bank XRP's YouTube channel. It has thousands of views, right? David Schwartz openly says to XRP Las Vegas and the entire crowd, you can go use the AMM to lend out your XRP and earn yield on your XRP. In layman's terms, like in normal person thinking, that's what he said. He obviously said it a lot more advanced than that. And I've mentioned how David Schwartz talks at such a rapid, high IQ pace that 90% of the stuff that he says goes over the heads of normal people. But again, thousands of views on that. But then go look at all the liquidity that's locked on the XRPL and the DeFi ecosystem. It's not thousands of people of liquidity locked. Like, no, you can go look at the active farmers right now on the XRPL. It's barely 2,000 people. Like,
yeah, compared to Ethereum that has 60 billion sitting on it.
So as much as people want to argue with DeFi and say it's a scam and say it's this and say it's that, like, I'm not here to convince anybody. That's what we got to understand. Like myself, Mr. Aquaman, Mr. Man, we're not here to convince you all. We're here to enlighten you and show you that this is the new wave. It's going to get regulated. It's an opportunity right now that obviously, of course, involves risk, and you have to be able to, in your own strategy, mitigate that risk and learn about that risk, which is why we created the Wealth 28 Club, to help you see how we are doing that actively in the DeFi ecosystem, right? And it's just like it's a new niche in this space, and you have to be a pioneer in crypto. You can't just be stagnant. Like if you think that crypto was ever meant, you think XRP was designed and created for you to buy it and put it in cold storage, you have no idea what XRP even is. Like that's not what it was for.
No.
You
gotta, yeah, man. This is wild. I envision too in the future, like, because they say, eventually everything will be tokenized. Do you think, with these high APRs that we see in DeFi, do you think there will be some sort of incentive for the people to like, and I'm sure it'll be like some sort of technology like on your phone to like literally tokenize stuff in your house, and like there's maybe be like some sort of incentive, and that would really get everybody to tokenize their own stuff. You know what I mean? I don't know. What do you?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that there's going to be incentives to some degree for people to tokenize stuff, but I mean, I don't know. I think that that would get a little bit too out of hand. It's going to need to have some structure behind it, So
I feel you.
We'll see how it unfolds. I feel like that future is so far out, but so close. It's going to feel far out 20, 30 years from now. But like, yeah, for sure, bro. In 20, 30 years, smart cities are going to be fully operational. Like the entire infrastructure globally is going to run on blockchain and DLT. It's going to be insane to really see it unfold. I don't remember who shared this video. I think maybe it was Nerdy. I think it was Nerdy. Wasn't it? The other day we had Nerdy on the call, and maybe it was Mr. Man. I don't remember. It was one of the two gentlemen, but they shared a video of some guy, some Asian dude. I don't know what high ranking position he holds in the banking industry or the large organization industry. I just remember he was a systemically important person. And he said that we're on the tipping point of really seeing over the next like 5 to 20 years whether the technological innovations that we're creating now are going to be beneficial to humankind or if they're going to be detrimental to the human civilization. And he was like, honestly, the way that we're going, he thinks it's going to be detrimental to the human civilization. And I can't, part of me, again, wants to not take the conspiracy side of things and hope imagine that never happens. But I just see evolution, and I see like how humans are. And if there's going to be a higher intellectually inclined intelligence, i.e. artificial intelligence, I just don't see why they would listen to human beings. Like, I don't see why, if artificial intelligence does become the apex predator, which we are currently as human beings, the apex predator on this planet, we wouldn't listen to monkeys try to regulate us. Like if monkeys tried to write us rules and regulations, like we'd be like, screw that. I'm not gonna do that way. And so like I don't see why if a super intelligence, becomes eventually one day smarter than human beings, which they're projecting one day it will, why it wouldn't think the same way. It's like, why would all the rules and regulations we're writing right now for AI, why wouldn't a bad actor in AI just be like, we're not following these rules. Why would we follow these rules? We're smarter than you.
Yeah.
So I just guess that's where I logically I conflict with it, but I hope that they have some sort of kill switch set up, or they have some sort
I
of
know.
defense mechanism, which I know that they do. I know that there's cybersecurity measures and there's all of these things that are happening behind the scenes that the normal person can't even comprehend for security measures and purposes. But I just hope that the leaders in control of whatever's about to happen technologically over the next couple of years are really thinking about the consequences instead of just focusing on the hype and the profit that they can make from it. Because man, it's gonna be it's really gonna be make or break for the human race, bro. Because I mean, as crazy as that sounds, like
Do you think artificial intelligence is capable of, like, learning empathy then? Because I feel like empathy is, like, the trait it would need to not take us out. You know what I mean?
yeah, I mean, there's these argue there like to debate that argument on the opposite sides. Some people will always say like, "Oh, well, just like you said, empathy. Well, maybe there will be an artificial intelligence for good, and there will be artificial intelligence for good. Most of the technology that we've created as human beings over the course of our lifetime has benefited us. Obviously, of course, give or
Yeah.
take some certain things like weapons of mass destruction and all that stuff, da da da. But most technological innovations we've lived through have been to benefit mankind. And even the naysayers at the beginning, yeah, it all seems skeptical, but zoomed out long term, it does become beneficial to some degree for human beings. I agree with that completely. But, you know, there's some people out there that try to debate that a bad actor is going to come in by saying, won't the artificial intelligence kind of fall back and pay us homage, pay us respect for creating them? Like, oh, because we created them, we'll always respect human beings and love human beings and take care of them. That's what we hope. I feel
Right.
like happens,
Yeah.
but like who really knows? Who really knows? No matter what degree you have, no matter how smart you are, even the people that are behind the scenes with AI, it's like we all have one thing in common. We can't predict the future. We can set things in place. We can set security measures in place and hope that bad actors don't come and ruin all those security measures. But it's really scary, bro. What could happen if it goes wrong?
I know, man. That's wild, bro.
I don't like to get into the conspiratorial side of things because if that really did unfold, it would take more than 10 plus years. Like it's not going to happen anytime soon.
Yeah. That's a I don't even wanna dive down that rabbit hole because you know how I can get, bro, so yeah,
Yeah,
man.
we might end up getting the video banned, but
Yeah, literally. Literally. But, yeah,
um
dude.
back to the DeFi. This is Mr. Man's post where he said that he also bought the dip with DeFi money. I love that. I love that, man. It's hilarious. But so one of the individuals down here, I like reading through the comments. He posted this and it says still broke, right? And then Mr. Man posted some freaking fire, man. He's always coming out with fire. He said, look into changing your strategy, starting with mindset. Broke is a construct of the mind, and the external will continue to believe it. So it's like, to each his own. You are what you eat. If you believe you're broke, you believe you're poor, then you're going to remain poor and broke. You won't take action to become a rich person because your mind is just going to be so fixated on you're broke, you're broke, you're broke. You have no money. You won't even, it'll completely block you off from thinking entrepreneurially. If that's even a word.
Facts. Facts,
you know,
bro.
it,
Yeah, man.
you,
Mindset
you,
is key.
I mean, you can't even think positively enough to put things into fruition if you think like a broke person, like a poor person, because you can't even you're not laying in bed at night sowing and implementing the seeds, planting them that you need to plant for the next day to sprout and come into fruition for you to even get out of that situation because you're just so fixated on that. I mean, it is a mindset, man. It's a mindset.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I know I've experienced now that like how powerful our minds are, like just utilizing my own mind and just really focusing on something and like directing my energy to something usually happens, man. So whatever I really think of usually comes to fruition. You know what I mean? But
What do you
that's
think is one of the key what do you think is one of the key characteristic traits that anybody in the crypto space, but we could direct this really towards any niche, crypto, entrepreneurship, being a better person at your job that you work now, just being a better person in general. What do you think what do you think that that takes? Like not just mindset, but what kind of a characteristic trait? Like what's one thing?
dude, one thing that I would say that actually I stand by, and that's having humility. Like, you got to be able to admit to yourself that your mindset's screwed up and you want to make change. Like, that's the very first step, having that humility. You know what I mean? Because most people, you know, you'll tell them about mindset, and they're like, "Nah, I do got a good mindset." Not having the humility to admit, you know what I mean? Everyone has head trash. Everyone has head trash. But it's just identifying it, becoming aware of it, understanding that you're not the only one that gets it, you know what I mean? And then just making making subtle changes in your life, you know what I mean? Just forming a positive attitude and outlook and understanding when you do that, you're changing the frequency of like your whole vibration of your body and how you're moving and grooving. And you know, back in the days in my early 20s, I was always negative. I was negative, negative, negative. And you know what I got? Majority of the time, even though I was still winning in like in some cases, but I was getting a lot of L's. I was getting a lot of negative results. You know what I mean? So mindset is really, really strong. Like, and if you listen to any championship boxer or, super tippity top of the top athlete in football or basketball, the things that they have to tell themselves to compete at that level, like there's no room for any head trash because that's going to screw up the whole flow. So
They have a high
yeah, man,
level of resiliency, bro.
yeah,
They're resilient. I think that that's one thing I can relate to. I can capitalize on is you got to be a problem solver. Like in crypto investing and trading, anything in the entrepreneurship realm of things. Even I mean in just life in general, like most people just aren't problem solvers. They'd rather have problems solved for them. They want the easy route. They want to take the elevator. They don't want to take the stairs. If you just become the person that wants to take the stairs all the time, you just become such a tougher person. You become a built strong person where it doesn't really matter what trials and tribulations come down the pipeline, to what degree, because there's different levels that problems come about in life. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter if it's a big problem, you tackle it. It doesn't matter if it's a small problem, you tackle it. Just become a problem solver. And if you can do that, you can become an entrepreneur. You can create money out of thin air. You can run a business. You can start investing properly because you'll just constantly run into problems. You'll fix that problem and then you'll elevate. If you're the type of person that learns from mistakes, you're going to make that mistake. You'll learn from it. You'll gather that data. You'll bring that data to the table the next time that you approach whatever it is that you're doing in life, trading, investing, building a business, da 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 da. Then you'll step over that and you'll go into the next one, and another problem will come. And it's like a constant leap, constant battle. If you can just be battle driven, like I said, you can just freaking solve problems at the end of the day. Like if somebody was like, give me like one sentence, what you would say to a person trying to become a successful investor and entrepreneur, it'd be like solve problems.
solve problems,
Yeah,
be
yeah, learn
solution
to solve
minded.
problems. I wanted to play this to full circle. We were just talking about artificial intelligence. One of the risks, I was reading this paper, BIS working paper, Generative Artificial Intelligence and Cybersecurity and Central Banking, May 2024. And I like to kind of correlate things like this that I read in the form of information to the minds of the masses. For example, I just want to like relate this back to what this gentleman said. Still broke, right? The way that the mainstream is set up in such a way, school systems, your job, billboards, advertisement, um, uh, actors, all the people that are in control of this world, the sports athletes, it's all systemically implemented in a way for you to feel like you're not good enough, for you to feel like they're better than you, for you to feel like you are broke, right? That mindset, 9 to 5 job, come home, watch Netflix, do it all over again, hate sitting in traffic, blah, 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 can't pay for anything, inflation's too high. All that has been beaten into you. Bro, when was the last time, let me ask you, because I know both of you are financially successful, right? Okay. When was the last time you gave a F about the price of milk?
You
Never.
know,
Most likely,
yeah,
right?
never,
Right?
never. But I'll be
Like,
real with you. I do see the prices like
go
increasing,
up,
but
right? I
like,
get that. But what I'm saying is
yeah,
what I'm saying is when you surpass a certain level of financial accomplishment, like, yeah, I see the prices of milk going up. I understand inflation. I understand all that stuff. I don't care. I
yeah,
don't care. Like it it only matters that stuff only matters to people that can't afford it because they have the mindset that they can't afford it. I don't give a F if milk is 34 $40 per gallon, right? I mean, yeah, I care, don't get me wrong, but the mindset is what I'm talking about. Like, I will find a way to afford that milk. I know that my family
facts,
will need milk. I'm gonna get that milk.
facts,
Instead of, "Oh, I'm broke. I don't wanna pay for this milk because the government's so bad." Like, I get that, right? I get it. But we are stuck in the matrix regardless of what level of finance that you accomplish. Wouldn't you rather be on a higher intellectual accomplishment via your mindset and your approach to your finances rather than just feel sorry for yourself all the time? You can be. You can
facts.
be, you know? You don't so and that's why I was using that scenario. I get it 100%. Like, yeah, it sucks. Prices are high. Gas is expensive. I live in one of the most expensive places in California. Trust me, I know. It's just $7 for gas out here. Like, trust me, I know. But it's like it's the mindset, it all has to do and the reason why I'm saying this back to one of the risks in artificial intelligence is social engineering. I was reading this document. One of the cybersecurity risks is that the artificial intelligence becomes smart enough to engineer the minds of the masses by drip feeding information in a certain way, right, over a prolonged period of time to steer the direction of the masses. And if you've searched, CIA projects like MK Ultra and all that kinds of stuff, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. You know that humans have accomplished that feature. So
Oh yeah,
you can kind of assume that artificial intelligence, if a bad actor or an AI decides to take on that mission, they're going to accomplish it tenfold. And it reminds me of what this
to
gentleman
the
said. Can you hear it? Let me know if you can hear it. I'm gonna
yeah,
play a
yeah.
little
I think I did right now.
You can hear it? All right, cool. So I'm gonna
Yeah,
play it. This is the president and CEO of Ashion. Hopefully, I'm saying that correctly. Michael Schlein. Hopefully, I'm saying that correctly. At the CSIS summit that took place just last year, and listen to what he says about how everything that we know about the world is designed by algorithms. Check this out. Hold on, let me turn it up.
to the most vulnerable people in the world, the poor.
Yeah.
But these are the issues of our day. Think about your own lives. What you read, what you know, what you watch, what you buy, everything is increasingly determined by algorithms. Our lives are being taken over by so as a society to
Yeah, yeah, bro.
dang,
Yeah,
dang.
yeah. Dang, yeah. And you go know how many views this video has? Not a lot, man. So the reason why I tap in and I play videos like this is because think of previous calls that we've been on when we were talking about DeFi, and I told you about the mindset of the masses over the past 3 years in crypto has been so manipulated into buying up these digital assets and storing them in cold storage because of the collapses that took place in 2021, 2022, and so on and so forth, right? We've been programmed and manipulated and distracted into thinking that that's what these digital assets are for. That's what we're supposed to do with them. We're supposed to hodl them. When in reality, behind the scenes over the past 3 years, people don't even know this. The DeFi ecosystem alone in crypto itself almost surpassed where it was at in the collapse, the peak of 2022. Okay. It surpassed, I think, $192 billion slightly at its peak this year. It's projected to grow over and upwards of $603 billion by 2030, which is massive. If you look at that on a X scale, that's 5X from where we currently sit just in DeFi alone. And you look at the developments in the DeFi ecosystem have been so astonishing that if you are ignoring DeFi right now, I don't know what you've been doing in crypto for the past 3 years, you know? Being brainwashed, just like this gentleman said, everything that you watch, everything that you do, everything that you see is all controlled by algorithms. People are wearing t-shirts that say hodl. People are hosting calls that are just like hodl mindset. What is this? This was created by the elites to distract us from us being our own banks. People, do you understand that that's why everything has happened the way that it's happened? With this technological innovation, with what took place back in 2008, the financial crisis, in 2009, Bitcoin and everything like that, it was a freaking massive explosion of decentralization that scares the government, that scares these financial institutions, because it gave us, the people, the power to control our finances. You understand that, right? And they distracted you all, and they distract you and will continue to distract you with these bear markets, these horrible cycles that manipulate the minds of the masses to steer their directional thinking out of what's going to make them money. Okay. Remember, we started off with this call saying that me, myself, Mr. Aqua, and Mr. Man all bought the dip with DeFi. Okay.
Literally. Some more XRP. Yeah.
I'm just trying to spit as many facts as I possibly can, you know? So, and I'm trying to back up what I'm saying. Like, I'm not just going to go out there and be like, "Oh, your brains are manipulated," without showing you that they themselves, the people with more credentials than me, myself, are the ones telling you this. It's not me. I'm a relayer of information. And what you decide to do with that information is up to you. I'm a energy transmitter. If you guys have ever studied Nikola Tesla and the power of the numbers 369, I highly suggest you get into that, because that's exactly what I am. I am an energy transmitter. I soak up energy and I transmit that. And it's usually in the form of positivity, unless you steer me in the wrong direction. And guess what? Most people that have intertwined or interconnected with me to some degree, whether it's through my private community, whether it's through YouTube, whether it's through business partnership, have benefited from that. And I'm telling you, it's a freaking full circle connection that y'all got to just tap into. DeFi adoption will likely continue to strengthen, with DEXs being a key pillar of DeFi. It will play a big role in the broader DeFi adoption. If current trends continue holding up, it is likely this adoption will happen very soon and at a rapid pace. This is from a document from Hex Trust, whom we know is to some degree integrated and partnered in collaboration, has a whole bunch of connections to Ripple to some degree. You just got to do a little bit of digging. But this is a document that they put out most recently. It's about DeFi, talks about decentralized finance, talks about how massive of a role DeFi is going to play. And then there was another piece right here from the Bank of International Settlements, because a lot of people, this is the document, Mr. Man or Mr. Aqua, that I wanted to jump into. Have you read this, bro?
I'm waiting for it to. Are you showing it on the screen? Because I don't see anything.
Yeah, give me a second. Did that work?
Yeah, it's loading up. I'll let you know. Yeah. Yep.
You've read
Oh
this?
yeah, dude, this right here was just like when you when you showed this to me, I read it immediately and I was blown away. Like, yo, like this is so right in front of our faces now, but still kind of low key tucked in the corner. Like, I don't know how many people read this Forbes article, but boy, oh boy, like
Yeah, it's it's only going to get bigger. It's only going to get put on more mainstream platforms as it gets regulated and as it goes along. I highlighted some key parts because I have some other, little tiny fundamentals that kind of link with that. One of them in the Forbes document, it mentions the Bank of International Settlements, and it says right here, DeFi staking is at the core of Web3's economic development. The one thing that I didn't like about this Forbes article is it just constantly mentioned staking and didn't really talk about all the other options that DeFi offers. So again, keep in mind, remember I said to you all that the system is designed in such a way to keep you distracted from the thing that will actually make you the most money. And in DeFi, like staking is one of the lower end APYs and APRs exist. It doesn't talk about liquidity providing or lending and borrowing or anything like that. So, but anyways, It mentions the development and the internet's next scalable model for better incorporate money and payments, or to better incorporate money and payments. And it mentions even the Bank of International Settlements is getting in on Web3 with their version for the Finternet. And I played the video clip from Augustin Carstens, the general manager of the BIS, the other day, talking about DeFi, talking about this new financial system that they're building, calling it the Finternet or Finternet, whatever. And then I pulled up this document from the BIS. This is from January 2023. It's labeled the Technology of Decentralized Finance, or DeFi. And if you hit Command F on it and you type in DeFi, check this out. Just talks about how DeFi, what it is. It's a new financial paradigm. Let me go down in here. Let's see where it says it. Just give me a second to find it.
Yeah. That's crazy. It's 282 pages.
Yeah. Oh, here it is. Okay, so it talks about DeFi, and it says that they don't really know what role it's going to play in the financial system. But then it says right here, nevertheless, we consider DeFi a relevant development because it harnesses innovative technology that might shape the future financial ecosystem. Right? That's a very powerful sentence. You know. So anybody that's knocking DeFi, you don't have more credentials than the Bank of International Settlements, I assume. So like, why would you not want to get involved to some degree? At least start educating yourself on it, you know?
Dang, that's some deep stuff right there too, bro. That's wild.
It always comes down to the deep stuff, bro. The deep stuff that people don't want to, they don't want to sit here and read this 200-page document, you know?
Yeah. Dang, that is wow. That's that's fire right there, bro.
What do you think is going to happen when these financial institutions come in and regulations kick in? What do you think? I mean, I know that you've been a big advocate of saying that the DEXs within itself are going to see major upgrades. What do you think about that? Speak on that.
Yeah, I think the DEXs are just going to get filled with liquidity like we've never seen before. And I think that whenever that happens is what they're referring to in a lot of the videos that you be putting out. And you know, the people that say it's gonna happen gradual and then sudden, right? So I think we're gonna suddenly just see all this liquidity pour into DeFi like overnight. Like it's gonna go from the 100 billion to possibly the 600 billion. You know what I mean? And that's gonna be institutional money though too. Like I don't know. Like I don't know, man. I feel like that real USD stable coin is going to it's going to tip something off, I feel like, as well. In my opinion, that's just like, you know, my opinion. It's not financial advice, may not even happen, but I feel like there's something about that real USD stable coin when it launches. I think there's just going to be something magical, and that's maybe possibly one of the routes where I don't know institutional money comes in through. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. Who knows? But you know, the XRP is it's not a security. It's the only one with any type of like it's already went through the the trenches of the court system and came out on top. So you know what I mean? I don't know, man. Like I don't want to sound like a moon boy, so I'm trying to be hesitant on like how I'm speaking to it. But I just from my understanding of DeFi and you know a lot of the money that you know I see just in stable coins now, like I don't know. There's something with that real USD stable coin I feel like might be the reason why we see this whole thing just crack off. But I could be wrong.
The killer app.
Yeah.
Yeah, the killer app. I mean, I definitely think that the expansion of the DeFi ecosystem on the XRPL is definitely going to bring a lot of demand for the XRP digital asset. But I mean, teach his own. We'll see how it all unfolds. I'm at the point now where my XRP journey with DeFi and through the utilization of DeFi, and now that I'm using it and I'm actively understanding it a lot better, and just like really being proactive in the DeFi space, it's like I've stopped caring about what XRP does. I mean, I guess I kind of lost the feeling a long time ago because I've been holding XRP since 2017, and I moved on. I moved on to other digital assets. My XRP is not my biggest bag. You know, like if I was going to say what my biggest bag is, it's actually HBAR. But I still have a really big bag of XRP. You know, I'm in the top 1% of holders. And, you know, I've obviously, of course, always taken on the ideology that it's going to be a high price in the future. But now, after doing research on what David Schwartz has said in the past, and I played this video on YouTube. I said that David Schwartz openly stated at Apex that, you know, volatility in digital assets is not necessarily a good thing. And I started understanding more about why that is. I don't know if you can see me right now. Give me a second.
Nah, you're paused on my side for some reason. I don't know why.
One of the
It's all
reasons why,
good, though.
yeah, you know, for sure. It's because I'm presenting my screen. Give me a second. Let me stop share.
You know, that's another reason why I formed that opinion as well, though, too, is because David Schwartz also said, get in now into these AMMs, into these DEXs before the big institutions come in. So, like, you know, that's another reason why I formed that opinion, because I feel like, you know, real USD stablecoin is going to be bringing in that institutional money. It's going to stay real steady. You feel me? So, real stable.
Well, I don't know why I can't fixate my camera. I don't know what the heck's going on. But yeah, I was listening to David Schwartz, bro. And again, like I mentioned, he says things that kind of go over the head of normal people. And what he said, he was talking about how volatility is kind of bad. Not necessarily bad, but not really a good thing. And through the AMMs and the utilization of DeFi and the liquidity pools, I started realizing why that is. Like why XRP is actually a good digital asset to be a liquidity provider for is because it's been relatively stable over the past consecutive couple of years. And it's even funny because there was an influencer on the internet. I made a video about this that went on to say, oh, XRP's been so boring. You know, XRP price action been so boring. That's actually really good that the rest of the market is extremely volatile, but XRP's price has remained relatively stable, albeit, yeah, it sucks that it's at a lower price. But if you actually understand that you could have been utilizing that sideways price action to provide two-sided liquidity to the digital asset XRP and be earning XRP that entire time and not have to change your ranges, right, for the liquidity that you're providing, that's actually really good. And that's why I think that institutions are going to find that the digital asset XRP is a great digital asset to provide liquidity for via the DeFi ecosystem on the XRPL because of, you know, the stability of the digital asset XRP. And I don't think that that's by accident. I don't think that David Schwartz was saying that. I don't think that Brad Garlinghouse has mentioned that, you know, the price of XRP is meant to be at a higher price, albeit, yes, at a stable price, but much higher. I think that once financial institutions come in, these low price swings that we've seen on XRP from, you know, $3.48 to 24 cents, over a zoomed out perspective, it's relatively stayed in that range, even when the rest of the market has been in a major bull market cycle or a massive crash. XRP has remained relative in that range. You can go back and you can look, you know, in 2021, a lot of people think that XRP didn't hit its new all-time high because of the court case. But what if, again, based off of what David Schwartz has been saying, XRP was designed to be that way, not to react as volatile as the rest of the market. And everybody else has it ass backwards. And XRP, again, was designed in order for these financial institutions to come in and provide liquidity, right? And for XRP to remain at a relatively stable price, albeit, yes, again, a significantly higher stable price, but still at a more stable price, right? Bro, I'm telling you, the
Yeah,
rabbit hole goes so. You go ahead.
and just look at Magnetic making all-time highs right now, and it's like, why is that? Like I feel it's because there's way more liquidity on the DEX itself, right? Like there's 1,250 people here. The Mag XRP has how much? 4 million XRP now is in this farm pool. So, dude, like the writing is on the wall for me. And, you know, I don't know. I guess the more you learn about DeFi, the more you'll see what Cypress and I are really seeing, because it's not an accident or, you know, by chance that Mag is making all-time highs over here right
No,
now. You know what I
not at
mean?
all. People in the XRP community don't even freaking know what MAG is, bro.
I was gonna say that too. Oh man.
They don't even know what MAG is. They don't even know that it's that the number 5 digital asset on the Xrpl just hit a brand new all-time high at $1,200 per token, bro. We were in MAG when it was like $400, $300-400 per token.
We at 1867 right now. Like respectfully, if you hold XRP but you don't know what the MAG DEX is, you don't fully know what you hold. You might kind of partially know, but you don't fully know. So yeah, tap into it, dude. I have to show you this. The CEO over at Flare, Hugo Filion. I want y'all to hear what he said his main focus is. So hold on one second here.
I'm excited. I heard you talk about this earlier today. It's so crazy too, bro, that a lot of individuals, they hold all these digital assets and they're not even really paying attention to what all these CEOs and what they're posting on their Twitter. Like, bro, if you just go look at the HBAR Foundation and Saucer Swap post over the past couple of weeks, it's been crazy DeFi stuff. Same thing with Velo. A lot of people hold the digital asset Velo. Same thing with Stellar. Stellar has been on multiple Twitter lives with Phoenix, the DeFi hub for the Stellar ecosystem, over the past consecutive couple of weeks. I've tapped into some of those. It's crazy what's happening right now. Go ahead and play it, bro.
Yeah, I got you. Hold on one second here. Was absolute fire. Filion, who is the CEO of Flare Network.
Really easy protocol. Yeah, there's a hell of a lot of NFT projects as well, but to be honest with you, there's too many for me to track.
Yeah, I hope you don't get into trouble with that, because anytime that we start being like, "What are your favorite projects?" It's like there's so many to. I'm sure
I've missed a few. I mean, of course, we have loads of indexes, but what I call them are projects. We have loads of API things, but yeah, it's difficult to be all encompassing. But we're very much focusing on DeFi, because that's where Flare needs to play catch up.
Yo. We're very much focused on DeFi.
Yo, hey, and then peep this too, right? So he mentions one of the priorities is bringing liquidity to the Flare network, right? The other cool thing that he mentions in this video too, and this was just on live today, right, is that the Flare network is giving out grants to developing engineers to specifically to build out the DeFi space on the Flare network. So anybody who's capable of building, these type of, dexes and stuff, they can apply for a grant and, basically grow their, software company or whatever off of grants. But that's what their grants are directed to right now, is to build out their DeFi ecosystem. But hold on, let me see here.
I'm gonna remove myself from the camera, and then I'm gonna come back on to see if it fixes my.
Okay. I just want to play this for everybody too here. So hold on. If I fast forward it, I'm just trying to get to the juicy part. So hold on.
Focusing on DeFi, because that's where Flare needs to play catch up.
They're very much focused on DeFi.
All encompassing, but
following to learn a little bit more about how to use some of the primitives and protocols, or obviously the main Flare account, things like that. But where else would you maybe think people might want to check out to
oh wait,
Santiago kills it, although he hasn't been doing each item in this series updatable every block is amazing, and that's the team's done really well. But I'd also like to give a shout out to one of the people that on the team that sort of really put in the legwork to conceptualize it. Ryan Reich, who's one of our engineers. Really appreciate the work he did on that. And then the FTC is moving forward. So the Flare Data Connector, that's an upgrade from the State Connector, which the State Connector is on Songbird, but it'll be upgraded to something called the FTC, which is moving forward. I'm looking forward to things like where we can relay our data to other chains so that Flare can act as an oracle for other blockchains. that'll be one of the most exciting aspects for me. Of course, the team behind F Assets, has done a very good job. It's very high touch, high lift protocol, meaning that it's a lot of code. There's a lot of moving parts, and then getting a UI together for that has been good, and the beta test is going well, and onboarding for the beta test is going well. So a lot of milestones. But for me, the next major milestones are attracting assets to Flare from other networks, not just non-smart contract networks via the F assets, but smart contract networks like Ethereum, like Solana, like Polkadot.
See, he's smart, bro. He's smart. He's smart.
Interoperability between those
He's
two,
smart.
but fundamentally.
Yeah, you hearing
He's
that?
smart.
Yep.
Yeah, he knows that the vast amount of TVL is locked on Ethereum and Solana. That's exactly why Ethereum and Solana be freaking pumping all the dang time, man. And XRP and XDC don't be doing jack. I wanted to take attention back to this. I got these two slides quick for people because the Forbes article just it had me rocking, man, because like people don't be reading Forbes, but Forbes sometimes be coming in clutch if you can make connections. Like, and I'll show you what I'm talking about.
Your screen is blank though too, by the way.
I know. I don't know.
Okay, no problem.
I don't know why it's like that. I tried to exit and come back on. I don't know. My camera must be jacked up. Anyways, you guys can see my handsome face. Whatever. It's no big deal. This one right here, this part of the Forbes article says who funded the World Wide Web, right? And it talks about the internet, how it was originally funded by the U.S. Department of Defense. Talks about the early days of the internet, and talks about the web integration and how it just revolutionized history. And that led me to this video because this lady right here, Loretta Joseph, she was on a panel discussion with Blockchain Australia with one of the good fellows over there at the XTC network, Sean White. And listen to what she says here. I'm just going to, I got to rechange my screen, but listen to what she says about how every single person with a mobile device is going to be able to tap into this new financial system and it's going to make history. And she talks about how they're focused on DeFi. Hold on. Let me just present this. And also listen to what who she says her mentor was. Her mentor created or helped create the internet. Give me a second. Put this on.
Solve them, but like the internet, and I know this. So my mentor is Bob Kahn. I don't know how many of you know Bob Kahn. Does anyone know Bob Kahn?
No.
It's very sad. Bob Robert Kahn, he built the internet. He wrote the transmission control protocol, the internet protocol. His wife was a lawyer. And without his wife, Patrice, we would not have the internet as it stands to stay. He's been my mentor for 10 years at Open Systems. So I have an argument with any government that wants to say that I don't understand how open systems work, because I do. And he has big problems with this. Interoperability and scalability, he still says are big problems with blockchain. And he's the man that built an open system. So we can't argue with that. But what I do see, and where my positive bidding now comes, I work across the emerging world. Now, what we've seen in the last 2 years, when I was writing laws in 2017, 2018 around ICOs, Bitcoin, blockchain, Bitcoin, Ethereum, nobody cared. Nobody really cared. Move to 2024. I've got to worry about DeFi. I need to worry about smart contracts, audits of smart contracts, the metaverse. Things like Web3 is now allowed entrepreneurs across the emerging world. Do I really, really care what Bitcoin price does? Well,
hold on. I want to pause right there. She said she now has to shift her focus to DeFi and smart contracts, which are all the things that have to, run through DEXs, decentralized exchanges, right? You got to sign a smart contract, all that stuff. And then she said, what this has allowed for is entrepreneurship. Okay. DeFi allows you to create a DeFi business model and become your own bank, people. They don't want y'all to know that. We go over this in the Wealth 28 Club. We show you in detail with over 75 video breakdowns how we are doing this in the Wealth 28 Club, how you can be your own bank, how you can tap into what these people that we're showing you all. Who was that gentleman that you just showed right now? He's the CEO of the Flare Network. Is that who that was?
Yeah, that's Hugo Filion, the CEO of Flare.
Of Flare, telling y'all DeFi, DeFi, DeFi. We got the lady whose mentor. If you don't know who Loretta Joseph is, just go look her up on LinkedIn and just go look at her rap sheet. Okay, she's embedded in the financial system, and she just told y'all DeFi, smart contracts, entrepreneurship. Right? You got David Schwartz, you got Marcus Imfinger from Ripple telling you DeFi, use your XRPs to provide liquidity, be your own bank, right? Well, it's hilarious seeing it unfold, but let's watch the rest of the clip.
A lot of it, yes. but it's still a speculative asset, and it's very volatile. So take that out of the equation for a minute. But the emerging world where you don't have access to a banking system, and I work in Nigeria, Kenya, Botswana, 97% of people don't have access to financial inclusion. We in Australia have 98%, Canada, the rest of the world. You flip that on the head. All of a sudden you give people a smart device, a stable coin, a wallet. You can create with Web3 the value. We can transfer value and assets like we've never seen in history. And that is the killer app. And you will see the development of that in the next 6 months in the emerging world like we've never seen anything. So that's why I'm running.
Okay, now, again, if you pay attention to the date of this video was from the 30th of January this year. Okay. And she said in 6 months, we will see this adoption start to unfold like we've never seen before. And what happened in the last month? What happened? People, come on. The total cryptocurrency market cap has almost recovered from 2022. In DeFi, the ecosystem recovered from the collapse in 2022, right? Across most major DeFi ecosystems, like for example, Base with Aerodrome, we saw TVL increase month after month after month. Go look at the magnetic DEX, look at the growth that it's experienced since April 30th, people, of this year. This lady is spitting facts, and you can see that if you are actually involved in DeFi. The growth has been exponential. It is happening at a rapid pace, and you can only see it if you know about it, if you're educated on the subject matter at hand. And you can only do that through, obviously, of course, reaching out on your own behalf and educating yourself, or joining a like-minded community that's tapped the F in, that's trying to wake people up about this stuff. And I'm telling y'all, like, come on now. Mag just hit a new all-time high today. That happened. And imagine how many XRP enthusiasts that are waiting for XRP to go to $1,000 have no idea that just happened.
Zero clue, bro.
You know,
zero clue.
It's sad. It's sad that we, as a human population, we have this ego where we can't sometimes tap into other information because we think we know it all. And that's like 95% of the XRP community right now. I mean, it happens in other communities as well. Like this niche crypto right now is very tribal. You know, doesn't matter if you're in Solana, doesn't matter if you're in Bitcoin, whatever digital asset you like and hold, it's kind of like this tribalism thing. But we have to understand that this is a multi-token ecosystem where you can't just be married to one token. There's so many opportunities out there. And when you understand that and you expand your horizon, man, let me tell you what, it's wild what's happening right now. So I thought that I'd share that one because most people listening have a mobile connection and a mobile phone.
Yeah.
You're probably even listening to this on a mobile phone right now. My mobile phone, if I check it right now, I'm going to have XRP deposited into my Zoom wallet because I'm in a liquidity pool right now, that's just earning me passive income.
I mean, and that's the thing too, that we're educating others on as well, is it's not just the XRPL and the magnetic DEX. There's, the base chain, Aerodrome, and all that stuff as well. And like, we're moving and grooving on a lot of these different DEXs, making passive income. And I have to tell you, a year ago, I was that guy who was looking at my portfolio. The very first thing, getting my day started, I'm looking at my portfolio. Where are we at while I slept? You know what I mean? But like now, fast forward, I know all this information about DeFi. I wake up and I check my earnings in DeFi. Like that's what I'm checking. The last thing I'm checking is really my portfolio. I can care less because I'm waiting for some inverse correlations to start coming through before I'm even looking at my portfolio. So DeFi is very powerful. For me, it's been very powerful in my life. I know the same for you, Cypress. But man, like I don't want to like try to encourage anybody to like join Wealth 28, you know what I mean? But I would just say, learn this stuff and pay attention, because like we're showing you, these CEOs and things from the BIS, like they're directly telling you about DeFi. It's mind blowing too, to even understand this information and be like, dang, like, why am I so gifted to know this information in this time and moment right now? You know what I mean? Like,
It's the information that the vast amount of, number one, you got to remember, I've talked about this before, is that we have this new entrant of researchers and in-depth influencers, right? I myself included, like Mr. Man, dude reads documents for a freaking living and decided to make a YouTube channel about reading, valued educational documents, BIS documents, bank documents, and it's benefited him significantly well. And what you're starting to see is a shift from all these bullish moonboy, hypey, driven influencers that had a habit because they developed the predominant vast majority of their followers in a bull market. They're continuously leading their followers astray because they're not providing them valid information that is updated, because they constantly have this bullish perspective because that was locked in because they got to experience the last bull market cycle. But now we have a new wave of individuals that are starting from the bottom that might have come in over the next year, or maybe you're even just now getting into crypto over the past couple of months. You have to understand what market cycle you're in. Right now, we're about to enter into DeFi, spring, DeFi, summer. Like, these DeFi protocols that are offering these incentives and these liquidity pools and things of that nature, it's fresh. And that's when you want to be capitalizing on it, not when everybody's in on it, right? So I cannot stress enough that if you're new to crypto or you've been in crypto for a while and you're just sitting around wondering why you're still listening to, I want to call so many people out, but the people that are still drawing Fibonacci's on their charts, throwing out $1,000, $5, $10 XRP price predictions, who gives an F? Like, for real, if you understand the digital asset XRP, who cares? It could be earning for you right now while you wait. Literally, who cares? Anybody that I talk to in my circle from now on moving forward that actually cares about the price valuation of the digital asset XRP, I've come to the conclusion doesn't understand it, because it doesn't matter if it's $100. It doesn't matter if it's $5. It doesn't matter if it's 50 cents. As long as it earns me 127% APR, I don't care what price it is. If it's $1,000 per XRP and it's making me 125% APR, then guess what? I'm a multi-millionaire every single day anyways, right? And if it stays at 50 cents, then guess what? I continuously still earn 125% APR. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, that's the mindset I'm trying to collaborate with individuals about these digital assets with. I'm past, I get it, right? We got the long-term bags. Those are secured. I'm a multi six-figure long-term bag holder. I've made that public on YouTube. Like, trust me, I got long-term bags. But now it's time to move on. It's time to expand. It's time to grow. Those bags can sit there and continue to collect dust, but now it's time to build a DeFi portfolio that's working. It's working. It's working for me. It's working, making the digital assets, the new digital assets that I'm buying, because I'm buying new XRP, I'm buying new XDC, right? I'm buying new HBAR and putting the new assets that I'm buying to work. And it's mind-blowing. Go, I'll let you pick up, because it looks like you got something to say, Mr. Aqua.
No, I was just gonna pick up what, it's like this. It's like, when you really look at DeFi, don't look at it as your whole bag. Like, you should have, certain bags that you just don't touch. But if you're a firm believer in XRP, then like, don't you want to make more XRP if you, in your mind and your soul, you feel like it is gonna go to some crazy high price? Like, why not deploy $100 to this DEX and figure, like, just see how the pool works? And if you maybe make, I don't know, 2 or 3 3 extra XRP, why not? You know what I mean? And then you're formulating a game plan with, okay, let's just say these moon boys are correct and we do go to $1,000. Like, what's your plan with all that money? Like, DeFi is here to stay. DeFi will be an option. Will there be these high APRs? Most likely not. But guess what? You're already well off. And the well off money you got, the APRs that are around that, and in that time and moment, you'll still be well off. You know what I mean? And I just, like, DeFi it's even bigger than that. I've spoke about it in the past, but I feel like, every single new business adventure in the future should always be leveraged by DeFi. You should be, like, somehow, some way leveraging DeFi to grow your business and create and generate monthly cash flow, because a majority of businesses in the United States go out of business because they lack the cash flow. You know what I mean? So imagine creating a cash flow for the business, and while you build the business, there's already a cash flow, and then 4 or 5 years, you guys never really made a profit, and you're just kind of still surviving off the cash flow. Well, then close down that business. You never ran out of the startup money, and now you go and start a new business and a new idea, and hopefully that new idea works. But again, a lot of people, they get startup money and they blow that money, and then they're back at square one. And then, so like DeFi is a safety net when used properly.
I posted something. I actually just made a YouTube video. It hasn't dropped yet, but I talked last week, I think, on a live. Maybe it was a private community Zoom call, but I talked about how I'm revamping my strategy outside of the mag decks and outside of the aerodrome decks, and building a stablecoin portfolio. I tweeted out to everybody, like, if you got 6 figures, which I know a lot of people don't, but if you got 6 figures, you have a 401k, you have a pension, you have a Roth IRA, like, that's worth 6 figures. Like, you could be making a minimum wage salary by being a liquidity provider or a lender with stable coins right now in DeFi, making upwards of anywhere between 20 to 60% APR on your stable coins. And so in the future, where we exist in this multi-token environment, which I've proved by systemically important people saying that that's the type of environment that we're going to be headed into, including the Bank of International Settlements general manager. I shared that video on X the other day of him being the one saying that we're entering into a multi-ledger world where multiple digital assets, including cryptocurrencies, stablecoins, CBDCs, and other forms of digital money, are all going to coexist in the future on this interoperable system, this ledger, this finternet is what they're calling it. I proved that to people, and that just took place. It has like 94 views on YouTube. They're literally changing the entire financial system, and I myself included, 94 other individuals on this planet are actually tapped into what the F is going on. Come on now, people. This is a game. Come on now. Okay. So bro, and people that tell me like, oh, they're going to regulate it out of existence and that's why we're scared to get involved right now. No, you need to understand that this is an opportunity. For the first time in history, like, retail's never had the chance to front run the banks, but you got to keep in mind that that's what the decentralized system and the idea behind it was created for, was for us to front run the banks. Now that's not happening anymore because the banks stalled adoption with the collapse and the previous bear markets. They stalled adoption in order for them to catch up. Now they've hired crypto native and blockchain native companies to come and run their backend systems, and they've hired people at the bank to come and run a blockchain digital asset team. So they're caught up. Like, the DeFi ecosystem, decentralized finance, is not going to catch TradFi off guard any longer. Now they're at a position where they want in. They want to get involved. They know what is about to happen. They know the transformation that's underway. They are coming. We're literally just waiting for regulations to unfold. Watch, you're gonna look back in 5-10 years and be like, dang, all the people that said that this market's gonna look like a hockey stick 5 years ago were 100% correct, because it will. It's inevitable. The cat is out of the bag. You can't put the genie back in the bottle. As many representatives with many more credentials than I myself have told you, it's happening. This is, again, to reiterate back to that Forbes article where this is like the third example where Forbes just comes in clutch, right? All eyes are on the UK policymakers and regulators, who must judicially consider how to design an appropriate, proportionate framework for DeFi staking. This is supposed to be implemented the second half of 2024. And just right here, it goes on to say, the government acknowledges that it would be premature and ineffective for the UK to regulate DeFi activities currently, right? So people that are like, oh, they're going to regulate it out of existence. No, they are aware that DeFi exists, but guess what? They're trying to let the ecosystem develop a little bit. Trust and believe that. They're testing it. We've got large financial institutions on stage like Wisdom Tree, like others that I've shown public examples of, showing and saying that they are invested and involved and testing out DeFi right now. And so it says right here, according to the government, it does not intend to ban DeFi. Like right here, if you go look on this website, sidley.com, it goes in full detail on, the UK government's status on all of this. And then that just reminds me, so you got the Forbes document dropping little tiny gems that people won't read. You got organizations dropping gems about the UK government status on DeFi regs. And then you got actual financial institutions on stage telling you the same thing. So let me show you. I just shared this video breakdown today with a gentleman from a large financial institution, I think with $3.4 billion of assets under management. GSR, they go on to talk about how regulators aren't looking to regulate this out of existence. If that was the case, they would have already done so. They're simply just testing it right now. They're in a beta phase with it all. They're in the proof of concept. They're seeing what works and what doesn't. And eventually regulation will catch up with technology, right? So check this out. Let me play this real quick.
That's real.
Excuse me. Sorry, I keep coughing. My throat's dry.
It's all good, bro.
All right, here we go. Let's play this.
I think the way we look at it is we're very constructive when you look at it on a global basis. And the reason why is it's very easy for a regulator to come out and say crypto is illegal, ban it, right? But they haven't done that. What you have found is regulators across the world have been trying to navigate out and say crypto is illegal, ban it, right? But they haven't done that. What you have found is regulators across the world have been trying to navigate and figure out what is the right way to put in place frameworks and how do you operate within these frameworks. Right now, it's almost like a race. And the reason why is, well, regulators themselves recognize. They recognize that we are an economy on ourselves. We bring with us everything from jobs, GDP growth. And because of that, the regulator wants to put in place that right framework. 2 years ago, Singapore and Asia was probably ahead of the curve. Hong Kong's caught up. Japan recently are looking at changing their regulations. Korea also has something currently with regards to the retail markets as well. And I think as institutional players ourselves, where we become, and it's very different from traditional finance, where within crypto, unfortunately, or fortunately, actually, how you look at it, trading shops like ours, market makers, we are integral, and it is up to us to set the gold standard, be it regulatory and compliance and the right way of doing business. So because of that, the way we approach it, especially within firms such as GSR and how we do it, is we engage regulators. We sit down at these roundtables with the HKMA. We sit down talking to the MAS. We talk to the guys in Dubai, the guys in London. And the reason why is, well, they don't claim to know it all anyway. They want our input. So putting together something like that, you kind of feel there is light at the end of the tunnel. And yes, will there be a situation of whack-a-mole over the next couple of months? For sure. But you have to see where regulation is now compared to where it was 6 months ago, compared to where it was 5 years ago. And we are progressively much further ahead. And it's only going to get faster from here, you feel.
And it's only going to get faster from here, you feel, you know? So it's like people on the internet, and I want to full circle this now, Prince, bro, because if you've noticed, what I tend to do on our calls is I like to full circle them. Remember how we were talking about people's brains are kind of manipulated in the stay broke mindset and this hodl mindset. And I showed you guys how systemically important organizations are telling you all that your brains are pretty much mush and that you've been programmed to believe certain things. And I walked you through, the development of the DeFi ecosystem on this call, myself and Prince included, show you guys that there are ongoing developments behind the scenes. The vast amount of CEOs and developers and engineers from the digital assets that you probably most likely hold now are actually the ones telling you all this. Myself and Mr. Aqua and Mr. Man are just, relayers of information that is not readily noticed amongst the crypto herd. We've shown you that. We've shown you systemically important people telling you that with a cell phone, you can be an entrepreneur. You can be your own bank. Again, this is all information they don't want you to know. They don't want you to know this, people. They don't want you to take advantage of your finances. They want you dumbed down. They want you sedated. They want you drip-fed information. And they want you to not be successful. At the bottom, at the end of the day, trust and believe, if you think that these organizations are out to benefit you, you're dead wrong. You have to take charge. You have to take initiative. You have to stand for your own financial freedom, like dead serious. That's what it really comes down to. And the people that have kahunas and a high IQ will take advantage of this. You will join a like-minded community like ours here at the Wealth 28 Club, or you will further your education, which I highly suggest you all take it upon yourself to do on these subject matters at hand. The Web3 ecosystem, digital transformation, DeFi, being your own bank, decentralized, everything. Like, tap in, people. I'm telling you guys right now, imagine two people. This is the last thing I'll say. Imagine two XRP holders. And for the next year, the XRP court case, the Ripple court case just bumbles around like it has been, which I don't think it is. Again, this is just a scenario that could unfold, it could not. But let's just take two people. And for the next year, XRP price remains suppressed below, I don't know, $1.50. right? Let's say court case settles, it goes to $1.50, woohoo, right? A couple little pump, which again, I don't think is gonna happen. I think we're gonna see a massive blow off cycle in the next couple of months, so on and so forth. You guys know I'm super bullish, whatever. Okay. As we go into 2025 summertime, super bullish. But still, let's just take two people. And let's say one person just holds digital asset XRP in its cold storage wallet, and the other person, same amount of XRP, takes that XRP and goes and provides it as liquidity and earns XRP the entire next year. Who's going to have more XRP at the end of the year? Please just do the math yourself. Who's going to have more XRP? The person that just kept it in cold storage, or the person that put the XRP to work and made themselves more XRP? If you can understand that analogy right there, you will understand the power of the digital asset that you hold. And it's not just XRP, like Mr. Aqua said. It's multiple digital assets. It's not just one to rule them all.
Facts, super facts.
So yeah, you know, I'm trying to give people gems, bro, but some people just like, you know, they like to get
Hey, and that's that same breakdown too that you gave. I mean, that other person doesn't have to deploy all of the XRP. They can just deploy 25%, and they're still gonna have more XRP than that other person just hodled and did nothing.
Yeah,
So
absolutely correct. Doesn't have to
you
be
know, and that's how people think. They think their whole bag, and it's just like, yeah, you know, never financial advice, but I wouldn't recommend the whole bag. But I mean, come on, it's like if you really have that much confidence in XRP, then like, why not, you know, get involved with what it's doing and deploy some XRP to make some XRP back? I don't know. So kind of hopefully this conversation woke some people up. I think it did. There's quite a few people up in here. Much love to everyone in here too.
You know, man, you can lead a horse to water. You can't make them drink it. I love the crypto ecosystem because it's competitive. Everybody's really protective of their capital, which is necessary. But it's like sometimes people you gotta branch out of your comfort zone a little bit if you want to evolve. You know, you always staying in your shell. You're always keeping to yourself. You're never networking. You're never asking questions. It's just like in school, in the education system. Who's going to perform better? An individual that's engaged, an individual that's productive, somebody that asks questions and figures things out, or the student that stays in the back and never studies and keeps their head down and just falls asleep when the teacher's lecturing? And who's going to perform better on the SAT? You know, not that stuff really matters intrinsically, but it's going to be the person that paid attention. It's going to be the person that dove in. And so it's the same crypto space, because what you got to understand about what you just gotten involved in is this space ain't going to slow down for you. You know what I mean? Like this space is not just going to slow down because you're hodling these digital assets. It's going to keep developing. There's going to be more opportunities now. I guarantee you, in like the next 2 years, myself and Mr. Aqua are going to be sitting down on these conversations, talk about how we're investing in digital real estate, and we own micro bit-sized pieces of apartment complexes in Dubai. Like, watch, guarantee you. I guarantee, you know, somehow, some way, shape, or form, I know for a fact I'm gonna be getting involved in digital real estate because I own traditional real estate. So I'm definitely gonna look to digitize that. And again, same thing. When we get there, bro, guarantee you we're gonna have people that mock us. We're gonna have people that say it's a scam. Oh, it's not possible. But watch, we're gonna be earning fat bags from from something else too, you know. It just continues to go on,
dude. And once DeFi really rolls out, a lot of people are gonna be in that like, dang, I shoulda, woulda, coulda. You know what I mean? Like, damn, like look at all this I missed. Dang, how was I involved in crypto and I missed out on all this? Like it like, because
I feel that way right now about MAG.
That's real, bro. That's mad real.
I feel that way about MAG right now, bro. Like I should have bought more MAG, you know?
Man.
But yeah, anyways, good call today, bro. I appreciate the convo.
Yeah, likewise, brother. As always, man.
Everybody, appreciate you guys for tapping in. You know, we got 922 listeners. We appreciate you guys' time. Everybody, any questions for myself, Mr. Aqua, Mr. Man, reach out on X. If you guys want to get involved with the Well 28 Club, visit CYPRXtrading.com. We ain't trying to convince you, but if you want the information, you want the education, you want to be on a team of like-minded individuals, a networking community that is growing exponentially and is tapped the F in all niches and categories of this new financial system, visit CYPRX Trading. We'd love to have you on the team. Many blessings to you guys. As always, you guys take it easy.
Peace.